All right, we got some instant analysis here on Penn State's schedule, which was just released a few minutes ago on Fox. Nittany Lions will open the season on the road at Indiana. And then how about this? Week 2, Halloween, October 31st, you've got Ohio State coming to Beaver Stadium. The marquee matchup for the entire Big Ten season is at Penn State in Week 2. There won't be a whiteout, which was mentioned because there's no fans going to be allowed. That's going to change clearly the atmosphere for that monster game in the Big Ten. But there you are in Week 2. You've got the biggest game of the league season right there to determine a whole lot. I'm going to get into this a little bit, but Ohio State, as the Fox analyst said, have the easiest schedule among the Big Ten East. They've got 2 tough games. They've got Penn State and they've got Michigan. And Urban Meyer said he thinks Ohio State will probably be 2 to 3 touchdown favorites in pretty much every game except for 2. Meaning that Penn State and Michigan game. So it's going to be challenging, but Penn State's going to have an opportunity at home against Ohio State. So we'll see how that goes. Week 3, Penn State is home against Maryland. Week 4 at Nebraska. Week 5, a home game against Iowa. Then a road trip to Michigan on November 28th, a couple days after Thanksgiving. Certainly that'll be a tough game as well. At Rutgers the next week, and then the regular season finale December 12th at home against Michigan State. This is a tough schedule. Look, when you're talking about what could be a tricky road game at Indiana in week 1, you got to go on the road. Indiana has given Penn State some fits out there over the years, so that could be a little tricky, and you don't want to be looking ahead to week 2. And certainly your season, in terms of college football playoff hopes, are on the line in week 2 against Ohio State. Then you've got Iowa coming into Beaver Stadium a little bit later on. The Hawkeyes are always tough. And then you follow that up the next week with a trip to Michigan. There are some games on there, a home game against Maryland. Penn State's dominated them in recent years, a road trip to Rutgers. And then they'll close at home against Michigan State. So this is a challenging schedule, made even more challenging. Again, you can't overstate this by a trip to by a game against Ohio State right there in week 2. Penn State's going to have to be ready. You know the Buckeyes are going to be ready. What a tremendous matchup that's going to be for the Big Ten early on in its regular season. So there's the schedule. James Franklin was on the Fox broadcast, just talked about how the players need to be consistent, execute, take it one game at a time, the same things he said for years. He did talk about Micah Parsons briefly, said there's healthy dialogue going on with Micah, but he reiterated this one more time, that Micah's been gone longer than some of these other players who have decided to come back. Micah's been gone since early August, so Micah may have already checked out mentally on the college football lifestyle to prepare for the NFL. We'll wait and see. Clearly, Micah Parsons is a phenomenal football player and a superstar. If he returns, that would be a major, major plus for Penn State. But as of right now, we just still don't know the answer to that. So there's your schedule, folks. A road trip to Indiana to start October 24th. Then the monster game against Ohio State in week 2. It's going to be a lot of fun.